A dumbfounded driver has claimed a Royal Mail van that mounted the pavement to let an ambulance past was putting lives at risk. Caroline Mullineaux recorded the postal delivery worker on her dashcam and said she believes it was a dangerous move. The 41-year-old insurance worker said she was aghast when the van mounted the curb without stopping when the emergency vehicle was driving towards them. But a spokesman for the Royal Mail said it was quite clear the postman took an emergency measure to allow the ambulance to pass safely. Caroline Mullineaux had been on a shopping trip with her husband Brett, 44, in Whitefield, Greater Manchester, when she spotted the Royal Mail van driving in front. Related articles previous. 1 Next. Father, 50, who rammed two youths off scooter. He said they'd. Shocking moment, a car is T-boned by a ute while going. Share this article. Share script dm.later, bundle, function, if, dm.rotator, new dm.rotator, p21, page size, 1, page count, 1.0, active class, active, rotate, false, dollar, number p21.share, .on, click, function, dms.facebook.post related. The highway code stipulates motorists should not panic when confronted with an oncoming emergency vehicle. It states, when one approaches, do not panic. Consider the route of such a vehicle and take appropriate action to let it pass, while complying with all traffic signs. What the Highway Code says. Rule 219 of the UK Highway Code covers emergency vehicles. You should look and listen for ambulances, fire engines, police, doctors, or other emergency vehicles using flashing blue, red or green lights and sirens or flashing headlights, or traffic officer and incident support vehicles using flashing amber lights. When one approaches, do not panic. Consider the route of such a vehicle and take appropriate action to let it pass, while complying with all traffic signs. If necessary, pull to the side of the road and stop, but try to avoid stopping before the brow of a hill, a bend, or narrow section of road. Do not endanger yourself, other road users or pedestrians, and avoid mounting the curb. Do not brake harshly on approach to a junction or roundabout, as a following vehicle may not have the same view as you. But Ms. Mullineaux said she believes the Royal Mail needs to do something about their drivers before lives are lost. She claims the driver did not slow down, although Royal Mail refuted this. The mother of two had been on a shopping trip with her husband Brett, 44, in Whitefield, Greater Manchester, when she spotted the Royal Mail van driving in front. She said, "I was just dumbfounded. The whole thing was just reckless and inconsiderate. I can't believe he didn't wait for 30 seconds and he's just done something as reckless as that. I know it's Christmas and that Royal Mail have to play Santa Claus, but they shouldn't be trying to play the Grim Reaper at the same time. There's a primary school on that road. When you go out driving, you're representing your company, aren't you? We all have to help the emergency services, and I couldn't believe somebody would do that. I bet he didn't deliver the parcel any faster. He didn't even get one car in front. Nobody was going to overtake him, and he wasn't in that much of a rush not to be able to hang on for 1 second. He just had no consideration for anybody or anything around him." Royal Mail backed the driver and claimed it was taking appropriate action to let the ambulance pass. The 41-year-old insurance worker said she was aghast when the van mounted the curb when the emergency vehicle was driving towards them. A spokesman for the Royal Mail said it was quite clear the postman took an emergency measure to allow the ambulance to pass safely. But the mother of two shared the video across social media to raise awareness of reckless driving and encourage people to follow proper procedure when confronted with emergency service vehicles. She added, "The van was in front of us doing about 30 miles per hour. He saw the ambulance coming up towards us and we started to pull in to allow it to pass. It's just intuition to let an ambulance go. An ambulance is clearly going somewhere to help somebody. He was endangering the ambulance, anybody on the curb, plus the person the ambulance was going to help. There was no one on the pavement at the time and the driver took the correct action to allow an emergency vehicle to pass. Instead of pulling in, he just curbed it in front of all those houses. If someone came out of those houses, let's imagine someone pushing a pram. Well, you don't push a pram backwards, do you? Someone could have been killed. You just don't expect to walk outside your front garden to have to watch for traffic. MRS Mullineaux has called for better training for Royal Mail drivers, and hopes to raise awareness about the need for regular training for all goods vehicle drivers. A spokesman for the Royal Mail said, "We have reviewed this video and it is quite clear that the postman driving took an emergency measure to mount the pavement to allow an ambulance to pass for a matter of seconds, given the HGVs parked with hazards flashing on the other side the road. There was no one on the pavement at the time and the driver took the correct action to allow an emergency vehicle to pass."